one must have a routine, and B, to have hope and think that tomorrow will be a new day. Maybe a miracle will take place, the ruler will no longer be there. These are the two factors that kept me going. Strict routine. I would do exercises, yoga exercises for 1.5 hours. I would say my prayers to give me encouragement and strength for several hours. And even the act, I made sure I got up at the same time. I made sure that the morning I spent doing certain things, and in the afternoon certain things. Of course, there was a lot of time I spent looking at the wall saying, what am I doing here? But now they seem so far away.
This isn't merely a pleasant story. A person who feels at ease with themselves can have no need to distress others. We don't have the energy to be cruel unless and until we are in inner torment. Along the way, the theory gives hints at how we might, when we recover from the blow, deal with those who dealt it. The temptation is to get stern and cruel back, but the only way to diminish the vicious cycle of hate is, of course, to address its origins, which lie in suffering. There is no point punching back. We must, as the old prophets always told us, learn to look upon our enemies with sorrow, pity, and, when we can manage it, a forgiving kind of love.
potential. You want more? So much more. Focus, don't you? Wasted potential. Wasting your potential? So much potential. You could be so much more. Focus. Stop wasting your potential. You could be great. I want so much more. I've seen your future. Focus. You're wasting it. I see who you are. Feel that hunger? Hunger. You know you want more. Potentially. What did you expect? There's so much pressure on you, huh? You feel it too? Expectations. Like you're waiting for something. That's always right there, so close. You can almost touch it. Focus. There's so much pressure on you, huh? Who put that on you? Pay attention. I expect a lot from you. Don't worry about it. I just want you. We will create a bright future. Doesn't it hurt to always be hiding? They're always wearing a mask, but I see through it. I know you want to be free. Let it go. I'm more sane than any of them. I'm more sane than any of them could ever be. I'm not crazy. Not crazy. You're already miles ahead. Too distracted. Remember your purpose. I need you to know that you're with me.
The morning after you take your life will be like any other day.
Suicide is the ultimate fuck you.
Except it will have 17 unread messages from your mother telling you that she was just giving you space that she didn't want to push. But she's here, she's always here, because you will always be her baby. The morning after you take your life, your brother will punch a hole in his wall, but he will never cry, because no one ever taught him how. Grief doesn't leak out of his eyes, it builds up in his fists. Your best friend will sit in the driveway for 2 hours because she doesn't know how to walk into a world that doesn't include you. And the world will keep spinning, but not for them. For them, time will fold in on itself. For them, clocks will stop. Your room will stay the same. Your laundry will stay unfolded. Your bed will stay unmade. Like they're all just waiting for you to come home. And the food in the fridge will rot. They'll throw out the milk, then the eggs, then the leftovers. But not for weeks. Not until they realize you're not just late. You're never coming back. Your car will stay in the driveway, no one will sell it. Your shoes will stay by the door, no one will move them. Your toothbrush, your jacket, your scent, all of it will live in your home longer than you ever thought you would. And you'll think you had no one, but you had everyone. You just couldn't see it through the darkness pressed against your eyelids. You just couldn't feel it through the ache that weighed on your soul. The day after you take your life, your teacher will hand back the paper you were sure you failed. The one you almost didn't turn in. Turns out you got an A. And she wrote in the corner with messy handwriting, "You have a voice I've never seen in someone so young. Don't ever stop writing." But you won't be there to read it. You won't know that your college acceptance letter was coming in the mail. You won't know that someone new was about to sit next to you on the bus, and that person would have become your best friend. You won't know that next month your favorite band is dropping an album that would have made you feel seen in a way nothing else ever has. You won't know that healing was already on its way, that the things breaking you were about to loosen their grip, that tomorrow might have been the day that everything changed, but you weren't there to see it, because you might leave the world after you take your life will be like any other day. Your leftovers will sit in the fridge, your car keys in the drawer, and your phone on the charger.
You probably have thought about freedom relatively a lot. It's within your grasp. When you choose to go your own way in life, the crossroads appear. Am I going to absolve myself of the past, or will I reckon with it? To absolve yourself, you must let go of everything that you thought you would be. Or you can just stick with the stories that you've told yourself forever. In my life, I have sought freedom. Freedom from my body, freedom from people, freedom from places, things. But where does that leave me now? Where are you at now? Does that spark something inside of you? What if you were always free to choose? What if reality was at such a point where it wasn't really a video game, but there were more choices than what was being led on? Let's just say that life isn't the simplest thing. We forget that we're here temporarily. We forget that we don't actually own anything. What do we do now? The best way to learn from the past is just all we have is right now, and all we have is the looking forward towards the future. A constant alchemy of what once was and what will be. Freedom. What would that look like to you? What do you want? What is there to run away from? The key is that there was really never anything wrong in the first place. You created everything. You created the pain, you created the relationships. You played your role. You played your role in feeling trapped. They say that if you really were to get freedom, true freedom, you wouldn't give a fuck about anything that you wanted. You would just stand still. Because you would understand that real freedom is just not caring about any of this. Because real freedom would be to understand that this human experience is nothing but that. When we say that we want freedom, we just want to be able to go wherever we want, any time of the day. We want to say things like we really mean it. We want to connect with people. There's nothing more freeing than a new binding. Sitting with the unknown. Sitting with the possibilities of life. The true freedom is by your own design. But there was never anything to be trapped in the first place. You just needed to let go of what you thought it needed to look like. And you need to start saying no. That's my transmission for you. Sacred transmission from me. Absolve yourself of it.
वो कहते हैं कि घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर इज अ वेरी फेमस उर्दू कोड कि जब तक आपके पास वही एक चीज होती है ना, कुछ होता है घर पे, तो देन आपको उसकी वैल्यू नहीं पता चलती. जब वो खोते हैं